Hello, parents and guardians. Welcome to Back to School Night for fall of 2020. My name is Mr. Frame, and welcome to Art 1A. Um, so, a quick overview of Art 1. Art 1 is a two-semester class composing of 1A, which your students are currently enrolled in, and 1B, which they'll take in the spring semester. Uh, a quick overview, Art 1A, this semester will cover the basics of drawing and art. So this will include things like line theories, shadows, shadings, a very basic intro to color theory, as well as some art history. And with the skills that they learn in 1A, they'll expand these skills and build upon them in 1B. And then if they choose to continue on into Art 2 and so on. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about me, who I am. So my name is Mackenzie Frame. Um, I am, for this semester, a long-term sub for your student's normal teacher, who would be Mrs. Ginger Filburn. She is on maternity and bonding leave until the end of this semester, so I will be taking over until the end of the semester. So starting in spring, you'll have Mrs. Filburn back again. So I am a graduate of West Ranch High School from 2009. I received my degree in history and education from Humboldt State University back in 2017. I recently just finished my teaching credential in single subject history back in May. And I can promise you that while this is not my area of expertise, this isn't the area that I studied in school, I do promise to make sure that this experience will be the best it can possibly be for you and your students. So, what to expect, right? What are some ways, what can you expect from an art class here in this virtual seminar, in this virtual world that we're living in now? So it's my commitment to make sure that this class is as similar to the class that they would receive. Would we be in school and in the classroom? I promising to make this as close to the real thing as I can. Luckily for art, a lot of what we are covering, they can do with simple at-home materials, which I'll talk about here in a second. Um, and so they shouldn't be too impacted based on the distance. So as I mentioned, right, for 1A in particular, most students should have these supplies available at home. So the supplies that we'll need for 1A include pencils, erasers, blank paper, and then Sharpie or other black marker, as well as colored pencils. If for whatever reason your student doesn't have these materials, please let me know. I'll give you my email at the end of this presentation, and I'll happily work with you on making sure we get your student and your child materials as fast as humanly possible. Um, your students can also, your children can also expect to be able to express themselves creatively in a safe and nurturing environment. I take the environment in which students learn very seriously. It's like a top priority to me. Um, I established really early on, expectations, not only that I have of them, but expectations that they can have as me. Um, and I'll show you what I mean by that here in just a second. So a lot of the majority, a good portion of your child's grade this semester will be based on multi-week projects that we start in class. And oftentimes, these projects, like I said, will last multiple weeks. So very rarely will we have projects that are start one day and turn in the next. My plan is to give them as an ample amount of time to be able to complete the project to the best of their ability. In terms of class time, right? So what we'll be doing during these designated class periods. So my focus will be on first off, right, expanding the understanding of drawing techniques, right? So how do we draw a line? How do we draw shapes? How do we properly shadow and shade? How do we identify things in art? The vocabulary that we use when drawing and when discussing art, and also artists. My plan is to start every class period during the week. Every week, we're going to start with a new artist. So hopefully, give a chance to expand their understanding of like artists and the impact that they have on our life. Um, and these things in class should help them succeed in the projects that I set out for them. Attendance is key. I know that this uh, is a little bit different than what we had last semester, but please, 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 please make sure that your child is attending every day so they don't miss out on important information. Um, I will go over my Google Classroom here in just a second, but my intention is Google Classroom is simply a place for them to get the materials to do the work, and class is going to be used on how to properly execute the work that I give for them. And I am always available to help and support students when needed, both during class. I always like to stay after. Once we wrap up, I'll always stay after to stay to see if anybody has any questions. And I'm also available during our designated end of the day flex time. So speaking of flex time, I wanted to go over what this looks like. So um, oh, this is a typo. I'm so sorry. This should say art. Meets this slide is completely wrong. So art for me meets periods 6 and 7. And I want to go over this bell schedule real quick. So art goes over during period 6 and 7. I have an open fifth. So if students also would like to reach me and they are not in class during fifth period, I'm also available during then. So sixth period meets 9:55 to 11:15 now. This is the revised schedule as of August 26th. Um, and then period 7 meets 11:25 to 12:40. And this 1:40 to 3:30 time slot, this is our flex time. So if students ever need help and support during that time period, they're free to email me. Again, I'll give you my email here at the end of this presentation. They're more than welcome to email me, and I will set up a Zoom call for us to meet in order to go over whatever help and support they might need um, during this flex time. So again, I'm always available during this time period. Two, if you have questions, I'm always available as well during this period, and I'll happily discuss anything or any questions that you might have. So some keys to success for your students here in Art 1A. A positive attitude, stay on top of the work and due dates. All work and due dates are in Google Classroom. I encourage them always to ask for help when needed and to never be afraid to reach out. And very quickly, I wanted to show you our Google Classroom and what it looks like from your student's perspective. So any new assignment is updated here in the stream. All due dates are over here on the left. If they hit view all, it'll show them, this is my perspective, so it looks a little bit different, but they will see what is coming up, what is due. And then here on our Google Classroom, I am organizing this by weeks. So every week I'll set up a new block and all our materials will be in there. All due dates are also posted here on the right. If an assignment has a due date, it'll be posted here with the time in which it is due. I had mentioned cooperative environments. My classroom rules, I work in a process called social contracts. So essentially, these are in the very first week of school. I like to get to know my classes a little bit better, my students a little bit better, and then we set expectations for each other. So I set expectations for them as students, and they set expectations for me as their teacher. And the hope is that if neither of us are living up to our expectations, we can reference back to the social contract and correct whatever issue may be happening. So I highly encourage you to talk to your students more about the idea of social contracts. It is a very cool thing. It's something that I've thoroughly enjoyed doing. And again, never be afraid to reach out. So this is my email. It's mframe@heartdistrict.org. Um, and my promise is to respond to you within 24 hours at the maximum. If you email me during the designated school hours, I should get back to you almost immediately. I am at my computer until 3:30 and working past then often. So if I don't get back to you right away, know that I will respond to you within 24 hours. If you have any questions, any other comments, concerns, anything you'd like to let me know, please, 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 please reach out and I will gladly answer any questions that you may have. Until then, I hope there's a time, sometime in the near future, where I will get to meet your students in person. But until then, I'm very, very happy and very excited to be able to teach them in this environment. So again, please let me know if there's anything that I can do to help facilitate this transition that we have in a virtual classroom, and I will gladly help in any way possible. Thank you and enjoy the rest of back to school night.